Hello everyone and welcome back to the Synergy Sanctum. My name is Justin. Thank you so much for stopping by. Here at the Synergy Sanctum, we specialize in all things related to Magic the Gathering, with a specific focus on deck building. So I aim to show you very quick deck techs that'll show you all of the cards in the deck and how they work together to ultimately achieve the goals of that deck. If you're not already, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate that. And we also have a sister channel now, so head on over to Commander Coliseum and check out their content as well. And for today's deck tech, we have another Avatar The Last Airbender spoiler for you. What I would argue is one of the most powerful commanders to come out of this set with Fire Lord Azula, an EDH Spellslinger deck here. Fire Lord Azula is just, man, she's bananas. This is so broken, and I feel like this has the potential to get really out of hand really quickly and consistently. So Fire Lord Azula says that she has Firebending 2, which is nice. She makes 2 red mana when she attacks. She's really here for that second ability. Whenever you cast a spell while she's attacking, you get to copy that spell, and you get to choose new targets for the copy. So this deck is loaded with every decent instant card in red, black, and blue, as well as a ton of flash creatures that are just going to get you so much value if you're doing it during combat. And honestly, like, even if Azula attacks and might get blocked and die, like, it is worth it for that single attack with how much heat is in this deck. So current TCG market value, and these are pre-sale prices obviously, but $185 to $207, and our land count is 35, with 20 of those being basics between the 3 colors, and then 15 of those being non-basics. So getting into it today, we are going to have Fire Lord Azula attacking as soon as possible, and the second she attacks, we are going to have mana up to get tons of value off of all of these spells that we're going to go through. So starting off with our draw spells in the deck, so we're running a Frantic Search, which gets you 2 cards, and then it untaps up to 3 lands, so it's just basically a free spell. Fist of Flame is letting you draw a card, and then target creature gets +1/0 and trample for every card you've drawn. Brainstorm's letting you draw 3 and then put 2 from your hand. So again, just picture every single one of these spells is getting copied. So it's just like so disgusting as long as she's attacking. Prozari Command says got multiple abilities for 3 mana. You get to choose 2. So you can do 2 damage or 4 damage rather to any target. You can draw a bunch of cards. You can make treasures. You can blow up artifacts. Demand Answers is letting you draw 2 cards at the cost of 1. Thrill of Possibility, same thing, 2 cards at the cost of 1. Big Score and Unexpected Windfall, letting you draw 2, but then also getting you 2 treasures for more spells. Opt is letting you scry 1 and draw a card, and then Dig Through Time has Delve, so you can exile stuff, but then you're going to get to look at the top 7 cards of your library. You get to put 2 in your hand and the rest on the bottom. And again, if this is copied, you're getting to do this twice. Just like so broken, man. You can draw so many cards. And then removal spells. So again, picture every single one of these getting copied. You'll notice it's all instants, right? So you're able to do this during combat when she's attacking. Withering Torment's blowing up stuff. Chaos Warp's dealing with problem permanents. Snap is getting rid of 2 creatures and then getting you 2 lands. Abrade's blowing up artifacts or doing 6 damage. Same with Lightning Bolt doing 6 damage. Comet Storm is a good mana sink to do a bunch of damage. Negate, you can counter 2 spells if it's going to be during combat, and then Terminate, you get to destroy a target creature and it can't be regenerated. So even if we're swinging with Azula into something that's bigger than her, you can pretty much deal with those permanents off of and those creatures off of declaring attacks. And then other good spells in the deck, so we're going to be playing a ton of spells, and something like Brain Freeze can just win you the game out of nowhere. Target players putting 3 cards of their library into their graveyard, and it has Storm, so it's going to copy for every spell you've cast before that. Electro Dominance is letting you sink mana into it, and then you can play something X or less. Nexus of Fate, 7 mana, and you get an extra turn after this one, and then it shuffles into your library. So broken. Invoke Calamity is letting you get 2 spells that are 6 or less and cast them without paying their mana cost, and again, if it's during combat, they're copying. Dark Ritual and Seething Psalm to get you a bunch of mana. Narset's Reversal can stop a spell, and then you get to take it. Rakdos Charm can have those token decks eliminate that player if they're doing a damage to to that creature's controller for every creature they have, and you do that twice. That can be a game ender. And then Waterlogged Teachings is letting you go search for an instant or sorcery, or sorry, an instant card or one with flash, and put it in your hand. So moving on to the flash creatures that we are running in the deck. So again, these will all count with Azula, right? They're going to copy, and you're going to get double copies. Wan Shin Ton Librarians, letting you draw a bunch of cards when it enters. Faded Firepower, if you sink a bunch of mana into this, sources you control are going to do a ton of damage. Vidalcan Orreries, letting you get everything at flash speed, so is Leyline of Anticipation. Torrential Gearhulk has flash, and when it enters, you can cast an instant from your graveyard without paying its mana cost. So it's getting you double value there, and you've got this big 5/6 twice. Mysterious Stranger says that when it enters the battlefield, for each graveyard with an instant or sorcery card, you get to take one, and then if 2 or more cards are exiled this way, you can choose one at random and copy it. Stunt Double is making copies of a creature on the battlefield twice. Amphibian Downpour, so broken. It has flash and storm, so you're going to get to just turn all of their stuff into little 1/1 frogs. Fairy Mastermind coming in for 2 Fairy Masterminds. It's going to draw you a bunch of cards. Mocking Doppelganger says that it can become a copy, and then except it has other creatures with the same name as this creature are goaded, so it goads all of the creatures your opponents have that you're copying. Emergent Zone gives you flash for the turn, and then High Fae Trickster is a flash one that gives everything else flash, so really, really powerful. And again, if you're getting 2 of these, it's going to be hard to deal with. And then here's our Spellslinger strategy. So you can see we're playing a ton of spells, a lot of instants. We're going to be doing that during combat and copying them. All of these Magecraft cards are just going to get such value out of this. So Veyrain, Voice of Duality, when you cast or copy one, she's getting bigger. And then if casting or copying an instant or sorcery spell causes a triggered ability, like any of these Magecraft abilities or Azula's ability, then you get to copy it an additional time. Ugh, so broken. Kess Dissident Mage is letting you get stuff from your graveyard once a turn. Oh, not once a turn. It looks like you can do it as much as you want. You may cast an instant. No, it is just one. Thousand Year Storm is letting you copy them for every spell you've cast before it. Gutter Snipe and Fiery Inscription are doing 2 damage to opponents, as well as Black Waltz number 3 from the Final Fantasy set. Stormkill Artist is making you a bunch of treasures. Sedgemoor Witch says that when you cast or copy a spell, you get to create a 1/1 black-green pest creature token with when it dies, you gain life. Archmage or Meritus and Archmage of the Ruins are getting you draws anytime you're casting an instant or sorcery spell. And then even more value in the deck. So Arcane Bombardment is going to get you to recur all of these spells once a turn. And then you can cast all of the ones that have exiled with it again. So just so broken. And again, it's saying cast. So with Azula, you're going to get to do that twice for each spell. Crackling Spellslinger, when she enters, if you cast it, the next one has Storm. Ugh, so broken. This deck is scary. And then Mizzix's Mastery is letting you get rid of all of them for the overloaded costs and then cast them all for free, which again doubles with Azula. And then other good stuff in the deck, the infamous Cruel Claw says that when it deals combat damage to a player, you get to exile cards until you get a non-land from an opponent, and then you can cast it by discarding a card rather than paying its mana cost. So broken. Grima, Saruman's Footman, is also taking stuff from your opponents off of combat damage. Azula, Cunning Usurper, is here because when she enters, an opponent's going to exile a non-token creature you control, and then you choose a non-land card from your graveyard, and during your turn, you can cast those. Exsanguate is a game ender, can drain everybody a bunch of life, and again, if you got the flash speed, you're doing this and draining everyone for lethal probably just by attacking. Atali Primal Storm is going to take stuff from everyone else, and Azula's going to copy all of those, and then Blasphemous Act is our board wipe. And then decent amount of mana in the deck, lots of mana discounters as well. So Stormcatch, Mentor, Nightscape Familiar, and Goblin Electromancer are making all these spells cost 1 less. Cormella Glamour Thief is giving you one of each color in Azula's commander identity, and you can only spend it for instant and sorcery, so at the cost of 1, you're getting 3 mana. Avatar Roku Firebender, he's back again. He was in previous videos, but whenever a player attacks, you get 6 mana. So right there at Azula attacking, you're getting the 2 from her plus 6 from Avatar Roku. You're getting 8 red mana just out the gate. And then our rocks are Soul Ring and a Chromatic Lantern to correct all of the lands to whatever color you might need to get this engine going. And with that, our show has come to an end. Thank you so much for watching our video, and if you enjoyed that video, feel free to share it out with any friends who might find value in it as well. Thank you so much for stopping by. We hope to see you again soon. Have a good one.